Alright YouTube, what is good? It's your boy Rebel back with another video, and today we will be looking at the HiDream-01 models, which have the image dev and the image base model, which is their full weight model. The dev is their distilled. So HiDream-01-Image is a natively unified image generative foundation model built on a pixel level unified transformer without external VAEs or disjoint text encoders, which natively encodes raw pixels, text, and task-specific conditions in a single shared token space, supporting text-to-image, image editing, and subject-driven personalization up to 2048 by 2048. This is a distillation model, technically. Why it is named dev, I do not understand, because historically dev models are actually base models with full step count. However, this model runs at a step count of 28. There is a base model. It is called HiDream-01-Image without the dev. This is actually their base model running at 50 steps, and we will take a look at this today too. So to get this model, the first thing you're going to need to do is go to the link in the description, and you're going to need to head to my Civit AI page, and you're going to pay attention to all of this information in the description. This is going to teach you exactly how to download and install the nodes and the model. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you're going to know how to do this. It's fairly simple to set up. It's just a git clone and a requirements run. And everything is actually listed right here for you. Now, before you download any models or clone any nodes, you're going to need the upstream model code and the weights from the HiDream repo. This is just like the backend pipeline logic, and you can clone this anywhere in your system. You're just going to open up a command prompt, and you're going to right click and copy that link there, and you're going to right click again inside of your command prompt to paste it, and then you're just going to hit enter. Now, I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again, but you can clone this anywhere. I would prefer that you clone this in your root comfy folder just to have it somewhere. After you have git cloned the pipeline logic, you can X out of that command prompt. After that, you can head to the installation portion of the description, and you can pick your option 1 for the Windows Portable or the option 2 for the desktop. All you're going to need to do is navigate to your custom node directory. You're going to click the address bar. You're going to type cmd and hit enter, and that's going to pull up a command prompt in your custom node directory. And then you're going to come to this line or this line, and you're going to right click, go back into your command prompt that we have opened in the custom node directory. You're going to right click to paste the command, and then you're going to hit enter. And that's going to clone the nodes into your custom node directory. I have already done this, so I'm not going to do it. Then you can come to these two lines here and copy these. And then you're going to come back to your command prompt, and you're going to right click, and it's going to paste the multiple lines that we just copied from the description. And you're going to hit paste anyways. And then you're going to hit enter, and it's going to run your requirements. I've already ran them, so it's going to say they're already satisfied. So then you can come back to the description, and you can choose either the BF16 model or the GUF model. You have two GUFs currently to choose from. You have a 9 GB Q6 and an 11 GB Q8, and the BF16 is 16 GB. So keep that in mind. Based on your VRAM, you'll need to pick one. After you have completed all of these steps, you are now done with the nodes and model, and you can download the workflow. You can download the regular base model workflow here. Just remember, the BF16 goes in your checkpoints folder, and the GUF model goes in your diffusion models folder, not the UNet, not the checkpoint, not the GUF. The GUF file itself will go in the diffusion models folder, and then punch it into Comfy, and it will look something like this. So starting on the left here, we have two nodes. One is your BF16 loader, and the other is your GUF loader. So based on whichever model you chose to download, you're going to need to use the specific node. For the sampler, you have a positive encode. You do not have a negative. You have your resolution selector. So These are all pre-selected resolutions that are based around the 2048 by 2048 resolution or 2 megapixels. You do have a experimental custom setting that you can input custom width and height. If you use any of these base resolutions, these are just voided and they won't matter. So your width and height for the custom is just ignored when you use the resolution preset. You have to select custom to try to do a custom resolution. But if you pay attention in the command prompt, it will actually force the 2 megapixel resolution regardless. It's just how this model is actually coded. But moving on, we have our step count running a step count of 28. We have a CFG of 0.0. Yes, you are reading that right. It is 0.0. Just leave it alone. You have your seed, you have your control for the seed, you have your shift, which is set to 1. Your scheduler name is flash. Do not change this. If you set it to default, you will get terrible outputs. This model is built to run on the flash scheduler. And then do not touch any of these three. And then you have your save image node, and that accounts for the workflow. If you would like to run the regular image model, which is the base model, you can in this workflow. I do have the nodes set up for it. You just need to change your step count to 50. You need to change your CFG to 5, and you need to change your shift to 3.0. Your scheduler also needs to be on default. That is just how this version runs. So I do have some examples and we will be taking a look at those. So for our first example, we have the classic woman holding a sign. Here we have a man in what looks to be like a bar. So for the next example, we have a woman in a PC room, kind of in a cyberpunk futuristic city. Here we have a fisherman on a boat. Here we have a woman in a cloak. Here we have a vampire king, I guess. Here we have a woman in a gas mask looking dirty. Now, if we compare the models side by side, you can kind of see a little bit better the differences between the two. The dev model is more of a turbo function where it does pad a lot of the detail that occurs in the image, whereas the regular base image model kind of handles detail and fidelity a lot better, creating a lot more photorealism to the image. For another comparison, you can really see the difference here. So the left being the dev model and the right being the base, you really see kind of the detail enhancement that occurs on the base model. This one's a little bit harder to kind of tell because this is more of a 3D hyperreal image as opposed to a photorealistic image. Both are great images, but I personally would take the dev on this one. Here is a comparison of the fisherman on the boat. The left being the dev, the right being the base model. Really not much difference here. There is some slight detail enhancement in the man's face and skin and textures on his coat. And looking at the woman in the cloak, really honestly, I would probably go with the dev here. Only because there's some tiling going on in this image and her hand is a little hallucinated. And here we have the vampire king in his throne. I probably would go for the base model here. Now here is where you will really see the difference between the dev and base model as far as quality. Dev model tends to wash out detail with like kind of that Quen padding look. The base model handles this output very well. Here we have a pocket watch that looks like it's rusted with some dirt on it. Obviously the base image did a lot better on this one. Here we have a water droplet on a rock, like a lava rock. Honestly, subjective. I would probably go for the base model just because the drop looks a little bit more realistic in its shape. But all right, guys, that's all I'm going to have for you today. Just wanted to get these two workflows to you guys so you could test them out yourself. They were making a lot of noise on Twitter, so I figured that I would code some nodes and get them to you guys so you could test them out yourself. That being said, is this a frontier open source model? I would not say that it is. Does it have its use cases? Yes. And will we probably see some enhancements from it in the future? Most definitely. With that being said, whether or not you get use case is going to be up to you. I feel like this model would pair well in a dual pass workflow. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving me a comment on the video to let me know how I did. You can also like the video. It genuinely helps the channel tremendously. So go ahead and download these workflows, get these custom nodes running, and enjoy HiDream-01. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.